What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about why Colin Kaepernick does not have a job. Before I begin, make sure you like and subscribe for more political content and current event coverage. So, Colin Kaepernick played from 2011 to 2016. He had a career passer rating of 87.8. So, his best years were from 2013 to 2014, where he had 91 QBR and 86 rating. He had around 60 and 58 completion percentage, and he averaged around 60 completion percentage throughout his entire career, and averaged around 7 yards a pass during his prime. He was never a big TDs guy. During 2014 and 2013 Super Bowl runs, he threw 19 touchdowns to 10 interceptions and 21 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Not great numbers, but not shit numbers either. In 2015, in 9 games, he only threw 6 touchdowns and threw 5 interceptions. That's not a good number. He was never known to be a gunslinger. He was more of a scrambler quarterback. Yes, he could throw the ball deep. He had an arm. He's always had a good arm. But like 6 picks to 5 interceptions is not like sustainable. If you were throwing 30 touchdowns to say 20 or 15 interceptions, that would be high interception numbers, but that would be acceptable. He's only throwing 6 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers last year, well, it's not fair to compare Aaron Rodgers to one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, to Colin Kaepernick. Aaron Rodgers threw 4 interceptions and 26 touchdowns in 19 games and only threw 2 interceptions to 25 touchdowns in 2018, and to throw 5 interceptions. Last time he threw 5 interceptions, he had 38 touchdowns, and he threw 6 interceptions and in the full season, and he had 40 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. That is what you call acceptable when you throw like around 10 interceptions. But if you're throwing 5 interceptions, you have to more than 16 touchdown passes and more than 1,600 yards in 9 games. Even if you times his passer yards by 2. So if you basically say he played 16 games, he would have around 3,000 yards. He would have around 10 to 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. That is not good. Those are not good numbers. And he had 28 sacks taken. In 2016, his numbers were even worse. In 12 games, he had 2,000 yards. So basically, if you played the entire year, he would also have 3,000 yards to end it with. He had 16 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Okay, those are acceptable numbers. But he got sacked 36 times. There was a regime change because Jim Harbaugh was there. Well, I think I think it was Jim Harbaugh was there until 2014, and that was because he had a dispute with management. So they had a regime change. The head coach was fired, and Colin Kaepernick was Harbaugh's favorite. He picked Kaepernick over Alex Smith and sent Alex Smith to Kansas City. So if Harbaugh left, nobody was there to support Colin Kaepernick. They brought a new system in that didn't favor his running game. Colin Kaepernick is a scrambler. He uses his legs to get the defense on its knees and on their toes, and basically if they're running man and you send everyone downfield, you can let Colin Kaepernick run out there for a 20-yard gain or a first down. So in 2013 and 2014, he had 91 QBR and 86 QBR, which are good numbers. He threw over 30,000 yards, but he threw 19 touchdowns to 10 interceptions and 21 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. So they're average quarterback numbers. And he also took a lot of sacks, but they also scored a lot more touchdowns because he played full seasons. He took the same number of sacks in 16 games in 2013 than he took in 12 games. So in 4 extra games, he only took 3 extra sacks. So that means their offensive line was better. And if you look at the 49ers as a whole, in 2014, they had one of the best defenses in the league. And in 2013 and 2014, they had one of the best defenses in the league. They had Ahmad Brooks. They had Antoine Bethea, I think. Let me just check the statistics because I want to be accurate as possible. They had one of the top defenses. They had Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, and Eric Reed. Those people are any team would want those players. They have 2 amazing linebackers. Do you not know how badly a team like the Packers or any team out there would want a duo like Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis? And they also have Ahmad Brooks, Aldon Smith on the defensive end, just rushing the quarterback, and they had Eric Reed. And Tremaine Brock also contributed. They also had the same amount of first downs as they did opponents, and had way more sacks and had way more touchdowns than their opponents. They had more field goals, they just scored more points, and they had a bigger turnover ratio. And Colin Kaepernick only threw for 3,000 yards. Frank Gore rushed for 1,100 yards, and Colin Kaepernick rushed for 500 yards. And Antoine Bolden had, I think, 1,100 yards receiving, and I think 3 touchdowns, and Vernon Davis had 7 touchdowns, and Michael Crabtree also had a lot of touchdowns. So they had an amazing offensive system, an amazing defense, and Colin Kaepernick was just there. He never had amazing stats. And when you say, why is he in the league and why is Nathan Peterman not? Well, think about it. Nathan Peterman was a 5th round pick in 2017. So he's still young. He's on his potential. He was a really good quarterback in college. So therefore, there's still potential for him. But Colin Kaepernick is 32 years old. He's already past his prime. Why would anybody sign a person like Colin Kaepernick? Nathan Peterman is 26 years old. There's still room for improvement. Like, there is still, like, Tyrod Taylor, 30 years old. They're still younger. They have more potential. Well, Tyrod Taylor, I think, had his best days already past him, but he's not 32 years old. A mobile quarterback that's 32 years old and asking a shit ton of money. Because according to the Mercury News, the XFL did not want to sign Colin Kaepernick because Colin Kaepernick said they weren't paying him enough. Colin Kaepernick wanted a hefty contract when you can sign somebody like Tyrod Taylor, you can sign someone like Jameis Winston, you can sign somebody that is like Nathan Peterman, who's young and cheap for less money, that is more bang for your buck. Why would you sign a 32-year-old quarterback to be your backup when he's on the decline, is asking for a lot of money? Well, it's undisclosed how much money he asked for, but it's not. It was too much for even XFL to accept it. They needed talent badly, and not even they wanted Colin Kaepernick. So why would an NFL head office choose a 32-year-old aging quarterback that is asking for a lot of money, that's going to have a lot of press on him, good and bad, when they can sign like a 7th-round quarterback or a 5th-round quarterback that still has room to improve for a much cheaper deal? So Colin Kaepernick, one, isn't as good because if you look at Aaron Rodgers' stats, Aaron Rodgers has way better stats than him. Well, it's not fair, but if you want to say he deserves to be in the league, compare him to the best quarterbacks and see how he does. Because Colin Kaepernick, even though his numbers may seem average too, and even if he's asking for a lot of money, is he worth it? Because some backup quarterbacks are worth it. Like Nick Foles was worth it in the clutch. However, if you go to situational stats, his QB pass rating between his first 10 attempts is 115. Really good. But when you look at Joe Flacco, it's 106. A game manager quarterback that is barely staying in the league has this around the same passer rating as Colin Kaepernick. Aaron Rodgers has 116. So in the first 10 passes of the game, he's really good. And then it falls off a little to 80 and 75. That's not good. Joe Flacco isn't that good there either. But like, if you look at the final 31 attempts, like 31 attempts and over, that means it's clutch time. That means you're relying on your quarterback. That means your quarterback is there to win you the game. Colin Kaepernick has an 87 rating. Joe Flacco, 102. Aaron Rodgers, 98. That means that Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers, if you make them win a football game, do a better job than Colin Kaepernick. If you put Colin Kaepernick out there, you're saying, you're already thrown 35 passes. I don't care. We're down by 4. We need a touchdown. Go get us one, Colin Kaepernick. The chances are he's not going to get you one because he's a below average quarterback when you need him the most. He's not like Nick Foles out there who's going to put up big numbers in the final parts of the game. He's like Aaron Rodgers out there that's going to be throwing Hail Marys. He's not even a game manager like Joe Flacco who's going to make good decisions. Colin Kaepernick is just not clutch. Has he had clutch moments? Yes. But statistically, his numbers are kind of shit in the final few minutes, in the final drive. And the years that he's been good, He has been carried by an amazing running back like Frank Gore, by amazing receiving targets like Vernon Davis, one of the best tight ends in the league that had over 10 touchdowns, Anquan Bolden and Michael Crabtree, both top-tier wide receivers when they were on the team. And they had one of the best defenses in the league with some of the best linebackers to ever play the game, with Ahmad Brooks and Alden Smith coming off the edge and Eric Reed in the backfield. Kaepernick was carried by an amazing team, and now he is old and washed up and cannot play football anymore and is asking for way too much money. Colin Kaepernick simply is not a good quarterback that is extremely expensive that not even the XFL wants. Why would an NFL GM want news media surrounding all of their team practices, Colin Kaepernick making political statements all over the place, for a backup quarterback that's going to be overpaid and regressing? If you sign Colin Kaepernick to a 3-year deal, why would you want a mobile quarterback at 35 years old? You know, if Colin Kaepernick does sign a deal, it's going to be a 1-year deal and a 33-year-old quarterback who relied on his legs to stay in the NFL. And he's going to be cut the next year, and then we're going to have the same fiasco. And he's going to bitch, he's going to scream, he's going to yell. So this video is getting too long. I'll release a part 2 tomorrow or the day after that, because tomorrow is the election prediction video. So hope you guys have a good day. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.